The secret recordings of employees in the female bathroom at a local insurance company.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
I'm happy that people are here. They'll get into the experiences of being here.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Raven Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. Grand Bahama hosting its inaugural Diplomatic Week aimed at strengthening international relationships and promoting local development. The week commencing with a worship service at First Baptist Church on Sunday, setting a hopeful tone for discussions to come. Here's tonight's top story. The Minister of Foreign Affairs joining diplomats, government officials, and the local church community for what is slated to be a week filled with meaningful dialogue and collaboration, the occasion marked by scripture readings.
And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares.
And uplifting song. Senior Pastor Reverend Dr. Keith Russell delivering a sermon titled Negotiating Hope in the Crisis of Our Existence.
We are encouraged never to give up hope. That's right. Never to stop fighting against injustice. We sing it in our songs. Yes. Our hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness.
Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, says the decision to host the event on the island demonstrates the government's commitment to investing resources in Grand Bahama.
I'm happy that people are here. They'll get into the experiences of being here. I was just telling everybody, Sundays is the time when the whole of Freeport empties out and goes to West End. Big social occasion. So I hope that they do that and go and experience that. The business of the country is tourism.
This year, Diplomatic Week runs from November 3rd through November 8th. The nation's chief is expected to arrive on the island come Tuesday to officially open the function. Minister Mitchell says discussions will focus on international relations and key policy issues.
Of course, the major policy issue will again be climate change, reparatory justice on slavery, and how we are going to effect that in the countries where we have diplomatic presences. And then, of course, how do we serve Bahamians who live overseas?
Diplomats also expressing the occasion is exciting and presents unique opportunities for engagement.
First of all, it gives the diplomats from across the globe an opportunity to see what Grand Bahama has to offer, to see and feel our people.
Just looking to come in and learn as much as I possibly can and just continue to network and continue to build relationships.
Well, this week, the eyes of the world will be on Grand Bahama as over 100 diplomats have traveled to the island to discuss pertinent issues affecting the Bahamas. Today, the minister responsible sat down exclusively with our Devontae Hanna to give us insight into what exactly is expected to take place. He joins us live now from the Grand Lucayan Resort. Devontae.
Well, it's no doubt, Raven, that Grand Bahama has been a topic of discussion for the Davis administration since coming into office back in 2021. But two key issues were definitely climate change and trade. And this week here at the Diplomatic Week hosted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, those key issues will be a big topic of discussion as leaders and ambassadors from around the world will convene here at the Grand Lucayan Resort here in the Grand Ballroom to discuss all issues that affect the Bahamas, including bilateral conversations that can benefit both their country and ours, and especially here in Grand Bahama. But we got a chance to sit with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, who told us a little bit about what we can expect about this week. Take it out. Check it out.
Today, over 100 diplomats, both Bahamian and from around the world, are gathering for the start of Diplomatic Week.
This is a time when we bring diplomats from across the world who represent us overseas to come to Nassau for consultations, first with home base and then with each other, exchange ideas and what they're doing, their work, report back what they're doing.
This year at the Grand Lucine Hotel in Grand Bahama, the week of events will end on November 8th. Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, says it will target climate, trade, and cultural diplomacy.
It'll be quite an interesting exercise because ministers of the government will be here as well, and the whole idea is for them to have an opportunity to speak to these people who represent their countries. There are a lot of proposals that countries have that don't get done because you don't have the actual physical contact. So we tried to concentrate this time of year for people to be able to do that.
Flags of countries represented are today flying high in the nation's second city ahead of the event set to be officially opened tomorrow. The hope is to perpetuate a boost in the Grand Bahamian economy.
It's too big to fail, and we need to do everything we can to help to support it to succeed with all these international visitors coming here. And I hope that they go away not only having done official business, but also taking away a good time in their minds.
Meantime, Mitchell revealed government is looking to expand the country's reach throughout the United States by establishing more consul general offices following its newest on the West Coast in Los Angeles.
Like places like Arizona, for example, where, and this happens because a lot of Bahamians went to school in some of these places. Also the Carolinas, perhaps as far north as Boston.
Official opening ceremony will be held tomorrow morning at 10, and Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis is expected to bring the keynote address. Now, this week of events all began on Sunday with a church service. It continued today with some closed sessions where delegates got to hear from the Financial Secretary, Simon Wilson. Tomorrow, though, will be the official opening that will take place here in this grand ballroom. We'll hear from the Minister of Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, of course, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the keynote address will come from the Prime Minister himself, the Honorable Philip Davis. And tomorrow's focus will be specifically centered around climate diplomacy. And of course, they will continue with bilateral meetings throughout the rest of the week. But as you can see just behind me, representatives from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs are now putting in the final bells and whistles here in this grand ballroom. We're talking about delegates are going to be here from all around the world. We're hearing names like Romania, Australia, Poland, Norway. It's going to be spread across the globe, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs would have said that over 100 delegates will be here in Grand Bahama. And of course, they celebrate that as it means there's more heads in beds. But the important part here is that these delegates will discuss climate, trade, and cultural diplomacy all throughout this week. And this week will end, the week of events, that is, will end on November 8th, right here in Grand Bahama. So reporting from the Grand Lucine, I'm going to send it back to you in Studio Raven.
Thank you so much for that, Devontae. Meantime, the Chinese ambassador to the Bahamas and a delegation recently making a monetary donation to the Ministry for Grand Bahama's Collab Resource Center and Restoration Village. The ambassador emphasizing the importance of supporting families affected by hurricanes and highlighted the need for vulnerable states like China and the Bahamas to stand together in the face of climate change. Now, last year, the Chinese embassy donated computers to the center, and the ambassador reiterated that China is committed to helping wherever there is a need.
We also provided some cash, actually, for the Grand Bahamas authorities to, help the families affected. And we have this China Caribbean Disaster Prevention and Management Fund, and happily we have also secured some funds for the Bahamas, for the whole Bahamas. And I'm sure Grand Bahamian people can also benefit. So long as it's within our capacity, we wish to do more. That's why I said we can donate more computers. We can also donate wheelchairs for the disabled, disability community here.
During the visit, officials also touring 2 transitional homes on Trip Circle, bringing joy to one family by giving tokens of love. Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, expressing gratitude for the ongoing support from the Chinese embassy, noting its critical role in the center's mission.
We have, of course, refurbished 13 homes in this area, back of town, that we house families who have been displaced since Hurricane Dorian. Many of them are single mothers, and it's important to continue to get the support from international partners, our foreign friends who have come on board to assist us in this endeavor.
In news from the court, the attorney of Murphy Knowles, David Cash, appearing before Magistrate LaQuay Lang this morning, being represented by attorney K. Brian Hanna with the charges of obscene language and disorderly conduct. Cash pleading not guilty for these charges, which led to Magistrate Lang granting bail of $1,500. But when asked what led up to him appearing before the courts, Cash alleges that officers would not allow him to see his client, infringing on her constitutional rights.
I traveled from Nassau to represent a person who was in police custody, Miss Murphy Knowles, and I went to go and see her and represent her while she was in custody. And essentially, I was denied initially that right to see my client. And it's either the constitutional rights of these defendants are going to be, or persons in custody are going to matter, or they don't. And my position is that the Constitution matters.
Upon his release, he was able to see his client, Murphy Knowles, who was released on Sunday after being in custody since last week Tuesday. Cash says as the investigation is still ongoing, the information he's able to relay to media is limited.
Investigation may still be ongoing, so I don't want to say too much, but the police had arrested her since Tuesday. They had her in custody, and they had every opportunity, if they had some charge, to lay on her. And obviously no charges were laid.
Well, Cash pleaded not guilty. This matter is adjourned until January 20th, 2025. Now, you may recall, police say Murphy Knowles was in custody for questioning in an ongoing fraud-related matter. That matter involves 77-year-old Ingrid Carey, who signed over power of attorney to Knowles, her caretaker. Murphy Knowles maintains her innocence, noting that she has done nothing wrong. Well, also from the court, Nico Bryce, a resident of Sweetings Key, standing before Magistrate LaQuay Lang in connection to the death of Galen Gadet that occurred on August 18, 2024. Bryce was charged with vehicular manslaughter. As you may recall, Gadet was struck by a black Yukon at around 8:30 p.m. in the area of Seahorse Village, where he later succumbed to his injuries. Magistrate Lang did not allow Bryce to enter a plea, but granted bail of $9,000. Bryce will return to court on February 22, 2025. Until then, he is required to sign in every first Monday until his court date. Well, in this ZNS exclusive, a local insurance company has come forward anonymously to describe a disturbing incident she claims has left her feeling violated. According to the employee, a security officer from a private firm was secretly recording women in a bathroom stall for months. Tonight, she revealed shocking details about this significant breach of privacy. Jolanda Thompson-Everest reports.
In an unsettling breach of privacy, a workplace that once embodied trust has been shattered to its core. A cell phone was discovered hidden in a female bathroom, recording without consent. This incident taking place at a local insurance company on Grand Bahama on October 8th.
An employee was in the bathroom where she just had an eerie feeling. Something just didn't feel right. When she looked behind the curtain, she saw that a cell phone was recording her. She panicked, she was scared, she grabbed the cell phone and she ran out the bathroom to show other rest of employees in the lobby that what was going on, like a cell phone was actually recording them while they were using the bathroom.
The moment was one of sheer disbelief, sparking panic among employees. This wasn't just an invasion of privacy, it was an assault of their sense of security. This employee recalls October 8th, the day that changed her life.
We couldn't believe this was happening. What was going on in our work, in the privacy of our workplace, we felt violated.
Once the woman made the discovery, what happened next and who was behind the illegal recordings came as a shock.
At this point, we still didn't know whose cell phone it was. So as we gathered, we looked through the cell phone and realized there were more secret videos and record of us being recorded in the cell phone. At this point, the manager came in and said that this is the security's phone. Then we realized he was deleting the videos out the phone remotely from another cell phone.
That security officer is Dwight Hunter, described as a young man widely respected for his helpful nature, a person many considered part of their work family.
We felt safe, secured, working with this gentleman, and then come to find out that he was recording our privacy all this time, violating our privacy.
Police officials were called in and the security was arrested, but trust was shattered. When management was informed, their response drew sharp criticism from the staff.
It felt like our company was dismissing our affairs, and they were not taking it seriously.
According to this employee, they were left feeling unsupported. The company assured them that the recorded videos had been deleted, but that did little to restore their sense of safety. Even more troubling is the continued presence of the same security firm implicated in this breach.
First of all, our company still has the security firm hired with us.
In light of the growing unrest, the company announced plans to install locks on the bathroom doors aimed at enhancing privacy and security.
Yeah, we appreciate what they're trying to do for us, but as women, going into the restroom is not the same anymore. Even when we go in public restrooms, we always look behind our shoulders because we always feel violated and that we're being recorded. He admitted to the police that he was recording us for months also. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy right now because we don't know what he done with those recordings. He deleted it out the system, but who's to say it wasn't shared to various WhatsApp groups?
As for Hunter, police say he was charged with voyeurism. He pleaded guilty on October 11th and was sentenced to 1 year at the Bahamas Department of Corrections. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Yolanda Thompson, Everest.
And still to come.
The University of the Bahamas gearing up for homecoming, inviting alumni and current students to connect over food, fun, and networking. That story and sports highlights when we return.
Hear that? If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country, pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse, the people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians, Bahamians helping Bahamians.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
It's Football Sundays at Prop Club Beach in the Grand Lacayan. Catch all the action from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. with happy hour deals all day. Great food, cold drinks, and your favorite teams. Call 373-1333 for more info. Portobello's at the Grand Lacayan invites everyone to a Thanksgiving celebration. Enjoy Sunday brunch on November 24th or Thankful Thursday on November 28th with a buffet and live entertainment. For more details and reservations, call 373-1333.
Bahamas. It's a grand celebration honoring Apostle Leon Wallace. Friday, November 22nd at Grand Lacayan Resort, Grand Bahama, 6:30 p.m. Admission is free. Love gifts welcome. See you there. Third Dimension on Yellow Pine Street invites you to their grand reopening Friday, November 8th at 12 noon. It's a new, larger, and improved hardware store, including tiles, lumber, building materials, and more. Third Dimension.
Experience an unforgettable evening at Moonlight on the Bay, a cocktail party under the stars on November 9th at 8 p.m. at Hawksbill Yacht Club. Enjoy live entertainment by D-Mac and the Royal Bahamas Police Force Pop Band. Tickets are $100 with part proceeds supporting the Sister Breast Cancer Support Group. Are you or someone you know suffering from depression? Do you even know the signs and symptoms of depression? Tune in to the Sabrina Brown Show Tuesday, November 5th at 11 a.m. on Radio 810, 8:10 a.m. The Light Facebook page, and ZNSBombers.com for an informative discussion on this mental health disorder.
Here at Freeport Decorators, we have hundreds of products for you to choose from. Whether you're in the market for trophies, plaques, rubber stamps, corporate signs, any kind of interior signage, stamps, or seals, we're your one-stop shop. We feature glass, acrylic, crystal awards for every occasion. We build all the trophies here on site. Looking for a gift item? We feature pens, key rings, mugs, tumblers, barbecue tools, even bamboo cutting boards. Have something already? Bring it on down. Let us see if we can print that special something on it for you. Need a headstone? Memorialize the memory of your loved one with a beautifully lasered granite marker. Our store hours are Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We focus on customization. So if you have an idea or a new concept, bring it on down or call us at 352-5557 or even WhatsApp your idea to us at 646-0777 and we will do our best to make your awards and recognition ideas a reality.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. The University of the Bahamas is gearing up to host UB Homecoming in hopes of alums and current students connecting and networking. This fun-filled event is going to have a number of food vendors and entertainment for the public to enjoy. Now, students are excited to partake in UB Homecoming on November 8, 2024 at the former Kipling building, as they say it was enjoyable last year.
Looking forward to community engagement with this homecoming event. We think that it's a fun and a safe space for our alums, their friends, and our current students to really mingle and get to know each other.
This year at Homecoming, we have vendors in the form of food trucks as well as under tents. We have Shay's Kitchen, Streetery, Sushiva, Shape Your Crepe, Captain Corn, Mini Donut King, and we're going to have our bar run by Commonwealth Brewery. We encourage persons that are 18 and over to come out and enjoy themselves in a fun, safe atmosphere.
Students are excited to partake in UB Homecoming on November 8, 2024 at the former Kipling building, as it was enjoyable last year.
UB Homecoming last year was an enjoyable experience. The music was good, especially with DJ Josh Ride. So we decided to bring him back again for this year.
Well, that's a look at stories making news. Shane, what's happening in sports?
Well, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture had a major announcement earlier today, so you better get your pom-poms ready for November 16th.
I definitely will. Thanks, Shane. Well, sports come your way next. Stay with us.
Third Dimension is back and better than ever for all of your home improvement needs, from tools and plumbing to housewares and a brand new paint center. Stop by Third Dimension, call 352-6126 and get started on your next project today. It's happy hour at Prop Club Beach in the Grand Lacayan. Join them every Friday and Saturday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. for great food and drinks. Open Monday to Thursday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and until midnight on Fridays and Saturdays. Don't miss out.
The Forever Flower Shop. Check out our new selection of artificial flowers and wreaths. Choose stems for your own projects or get a pre-made arrangement as a quick fix to a dull space. If you're a soon-to-be bride, inquire about bulk ordering for floral options that won't break the bank. It's all here at Island Bedding and Furniture, located at number 5 Queens Highway across from Caribbean Veterinary.
When you order a large Pizza Hut specialty pizza, you unlock a delicious deal. For a limited time, you can add a small one-topping pizza for just $2 more. Hawaiian, Supreme, barbecue chicken, meat lovers, and more flavors. And for just $2, you can double the deliciousness. But hurry, this mouth-watering twice as nice deal won't last forever. Call Pizza Hut Freeport at 352-9191 today.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax.
Have you been waiting for windows? Then wait no more. Cornet Bahamas have in stock now PVC sliding windows, casement windows, and impact sliding windows with mirror tinted glass, all in different sizes and styles. Call us at 352-1301 or visit any of our 4 locations in Freeport, Nassau, Abaco, and Eleuthera for the great products and great prices. Open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturdays. Cornet Bahamas, dream, design, deliver.
Psst. Guess what? Budget Pest Control has something important to show you. Copta termites former Salmus, the super termite. What makes them super? Their ferocious appetite can attack your home from below and above. They even attack forestry. But don't worry. Budget Pest Control has extensively studied this species on Grand Bahama. You can even check out our scientific paper. So you can count on us to protect your investment. Call Budget Pest Control, the termite specialist.
Experience an unforgettable evening at Moonlight on the Bay, a cocktail party under the stars on November 9th at 8 p.m. at Hawksbill Yacht Club. Enjoy live entertainment by D-Mac and the Royal Bahamas Police Force Pop Band. Tickets are $100 with part proceeds supporting the Sister Breast Cancer Support Group.
We all need to save. Save time, gas, and money. Shopping at Save More can help you do just that. Make us your first stop for all your prescription needs and medical supplies. Get all your health and beauty items at the same time. And don't miss our huge choice of snacks to satisfy your cravings. And the largest vitamin selection and over-the-counter relief products. Need diapers and other baby care items? First stop. The new section for makeovers, cosmetics, and beautiful jewelry will make you sparkle for that next special event. Save More Drugs, your more store.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm self-insuring my investments, starting with this tarp.
We all remember the blue tarps after the storm. Let's make sure that we are covered with more than a tarp. Don't allow your investment to be at risk. Protect your investment with one of our insurance policies.
Nobody
does it better. With BGC's crystal clear mobile service, stay connected seamlessly, whether on land or at sea. Our reliable postpaid plans keep your loved ones closer, no matter where life takes you.
Hurricane season is here, and the Lucaya Service Company Limited would like to remind you to stay safe and be prepared. In preparation for a storm, we encourage you to 1. Assess your property and all valuable items. 2. Seal your doors and windows and repair any loose siding. 3. Secure propane tanks and small yard items. 4. Check for loose fencing and posts to prevent missiles. 5. Trim trees in advance and regularly to protect your home. Post-hurricane tips. 1. Make note and take advantage of our bulk trash pickup schedule and times. This free one-time post-hurricane service is provided to all Lesco customers and subdivisions in Lucaya. 2. To ensure that your debris is picked up after a storm, please separate all bulk trash in 3 piles: vegetative debris, household appliances, and household furniture. 3. If utility lines are damaged or visible, please contact the appropriate authorities to ensure that lines are de-energized. A team member from the appropriate authority must verify and remove any terminated lines. For more information on bulk trash schedules and hurricane tips, please visit our website and Facebook page. Lucaya, your home, our service. Stay safe and be prepared.
Jade Champagne and The Rhythm presents 102.7 The Rhythm turns 3, and it's a big performance with Taurus Riley live. Taurus Riley live. Oh yeah, the hitmaker, the reggae icon, Taurus Riley, live. Saturday, December 14th at the Grand Lucayan Ballroom.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, an on-the-job stabbing leaves one hotel employee in hospital and the other in the hands of the police. Also, the extreme likelihood of a recession avoided for now. Hear more of what the central bank governor had to say about the local economy. And Grand Bahama plays host to international personalities and diplomats. Find out what they hope to accomplish by the end of the week. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. Tonight, a Bahama female associates fighting for her life in hospital following an attack early this morning at the Cable Beach Mega Resort. Corval Pyfram has the latest on what we know so far.
The vacation resort Bahama, the scene of an alleged stabbing incident. Tonight, it is being reported that a man entered the property and attacked a female employee of the resort. The incident believed to be the result of a domestic dispute. Bahama Senior Vice President Robert Sands only confirming this.
I can confirm that a incident happened on property this morning. It is now a police matter who have taken control of this particular case. We also extend our sincerest concerns and sympathy to the victim and those affected by this incident.
The victim of this alleged attack was reportedly taken to Doctors Hospital, where tonight she is listed in serious condition. Her attacker is in police custody. The incident bringing to light again the issues of both crime and violence, and more pointedly, intimate partner violence. Just last week, North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish was acquitted by a jury on rape and abuse charges against a woman he was in a relationship with. Commenting on this latest incident, clergyman Apostle Raymond Wells reasoned, "We have lost our way."
It's quite obvious that we have strayed away from the foundation and the principles of the faith, and it's time for us to get back to the principles and the faith that we build upon.
It does not appear that the incident occurred in a guest area and is unlikely to have any impact on the resort or the country's reputation internationally. Earlier this year, the Bahamas garnered some negative publicity after both the U.S. and Canada issued cautionary advisories to their citizens about travel to this country. This came during a period when the country saw a spate of killings, which authorities claimed were the result of local gang and turf wars. This latest incident is under active investigation. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Pyfram.
Meantime, an early morning suicide attempt in Garden Hills also under investigation. According to police, family members found a 38-year-old man hanging from a cord inside a home on Pink Cassia Avenue and quickly cut him down. He was rushed to hospital for further medical attention and evaluation. From the courts, after a month hiatus, the trial of Long Island Member of Parliament Adrian Gibson and his co-accused resumed in the Supreme Court today. Returning to the witness stand, General Manager of the Water and Sewage Corporation, Robert Deal, who defense attorneys meticulously questioned about the process involved in the financial reporting of the Water and Sewage Corporation. Now, amongst their questions, attorney Damian Gomez wanted to know if Mr. Deal personally signs the monthly financial reports. The witness indicating that the financial controller takes on that responsibility. Mr. Gomez, in turn, pointed out that by statute, the general manager or the chief financial officer could sign. These documents are coming under high scrutiny by the defense team as prosecutors contend that Gibson illegally benefited from WS&C contracts during his tenure as chairman and that he failed to declare his interest in them. The Long Island representative is on trial along with Elwood Donaldson Jr., Peaches Farquharson, Jerome Missick, and Joanne Knowles. The trial continues before Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson. While a small protest this morning on the grounds of Poinciana Inn in the face of a few residents being asked to vacate after overstaying the obligatory 3-month mark. Danielle Dean has the details in this next report.
Persons who are approved for our temporary shelter program are allowed to stay in up to a maximum of 3 months.
Some of the former residents say unfortunate circumstances like death of loved ones led them here to the home and that they just need a little bit more time.
After my son get killed, I was living on the streets. And that's when we come here. He used to take care of me and my family. He was 18 when he got killed. I did put in for a government apartment, and they told me that ain't gonna be finished until December.
Anishka Adderley, a 47-year-old mother of 6, has called the Poinciana Inn home since this past June. That's just over 2 months beyond her approved time at the government-run Bernard Road shelter.
Should I say that some persons have been in our shelter for 2 years? We would have moved them from one shelter to the next. And Poinciana, because it's now a government-run facility, we would say, okay, we will allow you a little, leeway, give you a little time to catch yourself a little bit while. But they've been here. I hate to speak to specific cases, but those persons would have been here even beyond that particular time. That would have extended to 2 years.
Natasha Mackey-Poitier, a blind 52-year-old, says she and her husband, her primary caretaker, have been in and out of the shelter for a year after not being able to work due to her disability.
And they know only him on working, they give the place to somebody else, so we still can't get the place because I'm not working. They want 2 incomes. Then the other reason is because when we do find, sometimes we do find something, they asking $2,700 to move in, $2,100 to move in. We don't have that kind of money.
Standing firmly behind the Poitiers and Miss Adderley was Keon Munnings, one of a small group of protesters with placards outside the shelter demanding enough is enough.
The shelters here are paid by the taxpayers' dollars. My thing is that the Bahamian people are sleeping in cars, they're sleeping in parks, they're sleeping in all kind of places, abandoned buildings and so forth. And we as Bahamians came out here today to say, you know what, enough is enough.
Well, Shirley Kelly of Social Services says Ms. Adderley's case is unique, adding that the department is willing to negotiate an extension. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Now, the Department of Social Services also issuing a release this evening in response to concerns on extended shelter stays, reiterating that each situation is unique, often shaped by complex and difficult circumstances, but that they're committed to providing compassionate support. Officials further stress that while shelters aim to offer assistance with temporary housing, loved ones and the community at large are encouraged to assist wherever possible to helping those in need. In terms of long-term stability, the department hopes residents develop marketable skills and identify job opportunities while also providing financial counseling. Qualified persons are also able to access rental assistance. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
Some things that are undeniably Bahamian. A good count salad, junkanoo, the way we worship, the way we take care of one another, all undeniably Bahamian. And right in the midst of our iconic things, places, and people is Commonwealth Bank. Increasing access, sponsoring dreams, working alongside Bahamians to increase the quality of their lives for more than 60 years. Commonwealth Bank, nothing more than being Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Giving you more to love with our KFC Bucket Meals with large size. Get the KFC Family Bucket featuring 8 pieces of juicy chicken, family fries, and 4 biscuits that feeds 4. A KFC Deluxe Bucket with 10 pieces of delicious chicken, 2 larger sides, and 4 biscuits that feeds 4 to 6. Or a KFC Party Bucket with 15 pieces of our chicken, 3 larger sides, and 6 biscuits that feeds 6. And we'll handle the dishes, plates, and utensils included, so you can lick your fingers and reach. KFC knows value, and it's finger licking good.
Experience the difference with BTC's fixed services. Whether you're working from home or enjoying family time, BTC ensures you're always in touch with the people and moments that count. BTC isn't just a service, it's a lifestyle. Stay connected, stay inspired, and live your best life. BTC.
I think we should open a bank account for Bradley.
Why? We already have enough bank accounts.
Well, the boy of age now, he should start learning how to protect his own money.
Protection. At a bank? We can protect our money right in our house.
Mommy, banks have deposit insurance. It'll protect all of your deposits if a bank fails, all the way up to $50,000.
We have deposit insurance?
Yes, by simply opening an account with a bank or credit union that's a member of the Deposit Insurance Corporation. Now, I know what you're thinking. What if the bank or credit union fails, right? But don't worry. Payouts to depositors will be made promptly.
Insurance is important, and your Bahamian dollar deposits are protected by the Deposit Insurance Corporation.
Okay. Let's go open that account.
To learn more, visit our website at www.dic.bs for more information.
This holiday season, the Ministry of Energy and Transport is bringing light back to Bahamian homes. Through our partnership with Bahamas Power and Light, we're offering the Merry and Bright Holiday Reconnection Program, so you can pay as little as 10% of your outstanding balance and get reconnected. Just in time for the holidays. Pay a little, light up a lot. The Ministry of Energy and Transport is committed to making sure no family is left in the dark this season.
The news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
You're looking at a shot of Margaritaville Beach Resort and the port on West Bay Street. Welcome back. Now to news on the economic front this evening. The first 3 quarters of 2024 saw the local economy expanding. The downside, though, is that the growth slowed compared to what we saw in 2023. Was the central bank governor caught off guard? Well, not based on what John Roll shared at this morning's monthly briefing. As Mr. Roll tells it, this was expected.
These trends are further in line with the expected leveling off in gains since the economy completed its recovery from the pandemic. The indicators reflect slower growth in tourism earnings due to constrained capacity in the stopover segment and also moderation in the otherwise healthy cruise trends. In addition, foreign investments are supporting sustained construction activity and, along with tourism, employment growth.
Now, lowered inflation has also been a plus for the local economy. All in all, though, there's every expectation of overall growth this year as well as 2025, albeit more subdued.
Though positive, on balance, a range of factors affect tourism. Cruise capacity has the potential to expand further if local supply-side conditions continue to strengthen. Meanwhile, the demand-side conditions continue to strengthen. Meanwhile, the demand-side forecasts are less uncertain for stopover visitors, given the averted risk of a recession in the United States and other major economies. Moreover, the projected reduction in major central bank interest rates as inflation comes under control increases the ease of funding for potential foreign investments, and it reduces the expected cost of servicing the government's existing foreign currency debt.
While raising public awareness about energy issues confronting the community, critical to CARICOM, which has carved out the entire month of November to focus on just that. For its part, the Bahamas will this week host an energy summit that coincides with its push to complete reforms, which includes modernizing the country's electricity grid, transmission and distribution networks, and transforming energy generation through LNG implementation. And this as the government touts efforts to provide cleaner, more reliable and affordable energy to Bahamas Power and Light consumers. While bringing the keynote address during the summit's opening ceremony will be Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis. The 2-day event will also feature panel discussions.
A key highlight of the panel discussion on getting the regulatory framework right is an update on the National Energy Policy, which is currently being revised and improved through a collaborative effort by the Ministry of Energy and Transport and ERCA. Key focus areas of the policy will address generation, transmission, distribution, supply, renewable energy, conservation, and energy efficiency. The sessions on day 2, the 8th of November, are closed to the public and will comprise of technical working sessions for all of our energy partners and the relevant government departments. The working sessions will include discussions on timeline, organization, key deliverables, and other commitments. The focus of day 2 is to ensure that all energy projects are delivered and completed on time.
Well, this week, the eyes of the world will be on Grand Bahama as more than 100 diplomats meet there to discuss pertinent issues impacting the Bahamas. Today, the minister responsible sat down with our Devontae Hanna to give him some insight into what's expected to take place.
Today, over 100 diplomats, both Bahamian and from around the world, are gathering for the start of Diplomatic Week.
This is a time when we bring diplomats from across the world who represent us overseas to come to Nassau for consultations, first with home base and then with each other, exchange ideas and what they're doing, their work, report back what they're doing.
This year at the Grand Lucine Hotel in Grand Bahama, the week of events will end on November 8th. Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, says it will target climate, trade, and cultural diplomacy.
It'll be quite an interesting exercise because ministers of the government will be here as well, and the whole idea is for them to have an opportunity to speak to these people who represent their countries. There are a lot of proposals that countries have that don't get done because you don't have the actual physical contact. So we tried to concentrate this time of year for people to be able to do that.
Flags of countries represented are today flying high in the nation's second city ahead of the event set to be officially opened tomorrow. The hope is to perpetuate a boost in the Grand Bahamian economy.
It's too big to fail, and we need to do everything we can to help to support it to succeed with all these international visitors coming here. And I hope that they go away not only having done official business, but also taking away a good time in their minds.
Meantime, Mitchell revealed government is looking to expand the country's reach throughout the United States by establishing more consul general offices following its newest on the West Coast in Los Angeles.
Like places like Arizona, for example, where, and this happens because a lot of Bahamians went to school in some of these places. Also the Carolinas, perhaps as far north as Boston.
Official opening ceremony will be held tomorrow morning at 10, and Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis is expected to bring the keynote address. For the Bombs Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
In other news, after all the votes have been cast, ballots counted, and 270 electoral votes attained, the United States will have its new president in the person of either its current VP, Kamala Harris, or its former commander-in-chief, Donald Trump. Today, LaDawn Davis caught up with a few Americans to find out who they're supporting, what changes they hope to see, and what impact they believe the outcome will have on the Bahamas and Bahamians.
More than half of the American visitors we interviewed while walking in the downtown area near the Nassau Cruise Port this Monday say they're tossing their full support behind former Vice President Donald Trump, who they say, if victorious at the polls, will be the man to make America great again. While on the flip side of things, Vice President Kamala Harris supporters say she has on her boxing gloves and will put up a good fight as she inches one step closer to becoming the first black female president of the United States. Supporters of both presidential candidates share their views on who should be elected to the White House.
I hope that Vice President Harris wins Pennsylvania, wins North Carolina, and holds on, the blue wall holds, and that she gets the 270 easy without any sort of contesting of this election. I just don't want a repeat of the last time where we had the January 6th incident, and would really expect that people would come to their senses and realize that another Trump term is bad for the country.
Why Trump? Because he's a better man. We don't need 4 more years of that we got.
I think because he has history and some experience as far as being president. So I think because of that, that's why I support him.
Because she support the Spanish people, the non-Spanish, for all the people go illegal or whatever. So she support more, you know.
Reforming the United States healthcare system, beefing up its migration policies, and enhancing its affordable housing scheme are just a few of the pertinent issues these Americans would like to see addressed by its new president on day one.
I think our healthcare system is a broken system right now and needs a complete overhaul. I don't know if I'm in favor of totally socialized medicine, but I do believe that there needs to be some sort of aspect where everybody can be covered for
everything that Kamala is pushing for. Lower housing, just better overall unity.
I want our Social Security taken care of.
But whomever is elected as the 47th President of the United States come November 5th, Americans everywhere say they hope it's done peacefully and that everything promised during their 4-year tenure as president is addressed. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm LaDawn Davis.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
A decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
It's good to be alive this holiday season. Alive is partnering with Western Air to bring 4 lucky Bahamian students home for the holidays for free. If you're a student studying in Florida, all you have to do is share a creative video showing us why it's good to be home for the holidays with the hashtags
It's good to be home and it's good to be alive.
And don't forget to check out our live social media pages and bealive.com to see if you're eligible.
It's good to be alive when things free.
And it's even better to be home for the holidays.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Another group of young Bahamians exposed to parliamentary procedures as well as current issues affecting youth development. Desmond Saunders tells us more about this year's Youth in Parliament proceedings.
As part of National Youth Month activities, young political hopefuls participated in a colorful reenactment of the actual events of the opening of Parliament. There was a pomp, pageantry, and ceremonial intrigue. Most importantly, Monday's events offered youngsters a real-life appreciation of the parliamentary process. Ceremonial Youth Governor General Leona Bethel delivering the speech from the throne, setting out her government's policies for the next 2 years.
This Parliament will focus on 4 key pillars: education and skills development, economic empowerment, health and well-being, and civic engagement and social justice. These will be guided in part by a strategic focus on the Sustainable Development Goals. Education remains the cornerstone of personal and national development.
From crime, technology, health, and government policy, the 61 political representatives addressed key social issues.
We must reform outdated institutions, adapt them to today's realities, and create new ones to address emerging challenges.
It is my hope that the sitting Parliament would motivate young people to use their voices because it is our most powerful weapon. May the sitting parliament exhibit the qualities and the characteristics necessary for the young people of our nation to witness that change does not come when their opinions and ideas and perspectives are kept quiet.
We will push for youth employment initiatives that provide accessible pathways to internships, vocational training, and entrepreneurial support.
I believe that advancing technology in our communities is critical to equipping aspiring young professionals with the resources they need to succeed.
In the end, these young representatives remain hopeful for a bright future for the Bahamas. Desmond Saunders, The Bahamas Tonight.
Well, Dawn and Marcellus join us live to give us a sneak peek of Access Now. Guys?
Well, Moncusula, you know what the big story of the week is, the U.S. elections. I see, Marcellus, you're excited. I know you said it. Your wife voted already. I know you're excited. Moncusula, I know you're waiting with bated breath to see who's going to win. Everybody's waiting. Right,
yeah.
Marcellus, right?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Right?
I'm ready.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow. We'll stay with us. Our feature story is up next.
Man, this ain't making no sense, man. How people making it out there, Dre?
If you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck, you gotta learn how to budget. First, write down all of your income. Then, list out all of your expenses. And don't forget to save. Stop throwing away money. Put something aside for savings. And get this, government savings bonds can safely grow your money. So start budgeting, save your coins, and invest smart. Financial independence, way. Wait, financial independence, way. Learn how to invest in government savings bonds on the Central Bank of the Bahamas website.
With BGC's crystal clear mobile service, stay connected seamlessly, whether on land or at sea. Our reliable postpaid plans keep your loved ones closer, no matter where life takes you.
People are going crazy for Popeyes around the world. Some have camped out for hours just to try our delicious chicken. This guy stocked up on 300 crunchy, juicy chicken sandwiches, just in case. And these lovebirds celebrated their wedding with the Popeyes cake. For real. We get it, y'all chicken lovers. Because we're just as crazy to marinate our chicken for 12 hours and make every piece by hand. That crazy love, we love. Love that chicken from Popeyes.
One of the biggest decisions you will make when remodeling a kitchen is the design choice for your kitchen cabinets. Whether you want your kitchen to look modern or traditional, the Casablanca White Shaker cabinets will make a sound choice. Stop into Conard Bahamas today and let them enhance your kitchen with the Casablanca White Shaker cabinets. At Conard Bahamas, they also carry an array of Calacatta quartz countertops. Conard Bahamas, Sandyport, Nassau, Freeport, Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Eleuthera.
And that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
At the Tourism Development Corporation's latest think tank, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, spoke to the growing need for Bahamian entrepreneurship in the tourism sector.
And this is why we've asked you to participate in a think tank. Because people tell me that the tourists are coming and they're not feeling it. We can bring them, we can take them to the straw market, we can lead a horse to water. We cannot make them drink. But you have that power in the palm of your hands. And you are young, you're smart, you're bold, you're innovative, and you're creative. All of those things make a great entrepreneur. And therefore, you must now create opportunities to ensure that you are making tourism your business. Today, we're going to get some lessons and some thoughts as to how to go about achieving this and how to scale and grow our business and how to benefit from the cruise industries and how to create new opportunities. Let us commit that from this think tank, there will be action. And in a year's time, you would demonstrate to new entrepreneurs or the growing entrepreneurs as the result of this event will be on that panel, and you will demonstrate to the TDC that the work they are putting into entrepreneurship development for tourism-related entities is paying dividends.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
Prime Minister Philip Davis attending a ceremony for the National Youth Guard. Our Corvell Pyfrom has the details straight ahead.
Plus, we were at a Catholic Founders Day assembly. Stay close for that.
Ray, for the red, white, and blue, Americans are voting for a new president. Tomorrow, will it be Trump or Harris? We'll just have to wait and see.
And coming up in sports, the Anglicans honoring Alpheus Hawk Finlayson with a track meet.
Tonight, Access Now starts now.
And good evening, everyone. I'm Marcellus Hall.
And I'm LaDawn Davis. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, Access Now.
Well, this time tomorrow, Americans will be close, actually, to choosing a new president.
Will it be Trump or Harris? It appears it will be a close one, Marcellus.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close as well. Let's continue to monitor it. Meanwhile, let's dive right into the news for tonight. The country's arsenal in the fight against climate change, natural disasters, and other national emergencies has been given some reinforcement. Now, more than a few good men and women have answered successfully. They've completed the call to serve. Corvell Pyfrom reports on the latest graduates of the National Youth Program.
29 men, 34 women make up the latest group of graduates of the National Youth Guard program.
Today is indeed a special milestone. For these 63 young men and women, the past few months have been filled with new experiences, exciting challenges that have stretched their mental and physical limits.
The third cohort to successfully complete the program launched just over a year ago. Their 10-week training included disaster preparedness to leadership to first aid. These recruits are now expected to be additional boots on the ground in times of disasters and national emergencies. The Prime Minister underscoring at the graduation ceremony the crucial role the Youth Guard is expected to play as we experience more drastic effects from climate change.
Disasters need not spell doom. With the right preparation and the right people, we can mitigate the damage caused by disasters.
The recruits, ages 18 to 25, with many hoping to go on to serve the country further, are grateful for the opportunity to be a part of this program.
I feel great, excited for a new journey.
What made me want to join this program is to help my country, and because I would like to be a Royal Bahamas citizen, forcing to be one step closer to my dream goal.
I just wanted to be a part of something more bigger than myself and wanted to give back to my community and my country.
The opportunity for these recruits to serve the country more, now a government commitment. This surprise announcement during the ceremony from National Security Minister Wayne Monroe.
The National Youth Guard will become a bridging requirement for recruitment to the Defense Force and the Police Force.
The initiative just announced is endorsed by me.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
Catholic schools across the nation celebrating Founders Day. The first Catholic school in the Bahamas, St. Francis, was opened back in 1889 on November 4th, marking 135 years today. St. Thomas More principal Dr. Renee Mortimer, no stranger to the Catholic school system, says the event evolved tremendously over the years.
This is my 10th year as principal of St. Thomas More School. I've been in the educational system for 29 years, starting at St. Francis Joseph School, where I was a 5th grade teacher, then moving on to a vice principal of St. Cecilia School for 10 years, then moving on to St. Thomas More School as vice principal, principal of Our Lady School before it closed down, moving back to St. Thomas More School as administrator. And in 2015, I became the principal of St. Thomas More School, taking over from Mrs. Ellen Daniels. So all of us are celebrating today. It's a wonderful day to celebrate. We're happy, we're excited, and it's going to be a wonderful day.
Well, former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris have less than 24 hours to convince the American populace to vote for them in as President of the United States of America. They are both hitting the trails, delivering last-minute messages at rallies in battleground states, Pennsylvania and North Carolina. Now, many American politicos have predicted a very tight race between Trump and Harris, which may not render a result on election night. Others feel that Harris will emerge victorious as the first female to ever hold the title of United States President. We've seen a lot during this campaign. A convicted person turns up as a candidate, a sitting president drops out of the race, the first black woman to be nominated as a major party candidate, and the list goes on. The world watches with much abated breath to see who is going to come out as a winner. And still to come, Cordero Seymour, all set to tell us about the return to the classics. We'll be right back with more Access Now. Stay close.
Angie, how can I get my claims paid quick? Rent's due next week.
CG processes 99% of claims within 5 days. Remember when I was hang gliding with those goats? I caught a gust of wind and flew right into a moving car. Every appendage was in the cast, and they paid fast and fairly. That's what I get for trusting a man with a mustache and an eye patch. Now I gotta go. I'm meeting the guy who bedazzled my toes.
99% of claims are processed within 5 days. CG Atlantic Medical and Life. Good like that.
At Costrite, our members know that there's a lot to smile about. They know that membership has its privileges. Guaranteed low pricing on every item, every time you shop. Each membership comes with 2 cards. That's one for you and a free card for a member of your household. Gold card holders earn an annual 2% rebate up to $500. Costrite members get discounts at other participating businesses. So that's a lot to smile about. Whether it be clothing, appliances, home goods, or groceries, shop at Costrite, where membership truly has its privileges.
We at Candid Security offer a varied range of security services, including guard service. We do armored service, we do pre-employment investigation, background checks, also vet people for employment. A live business hosted PBX is extremely important to our operation. I don't have to be in my office. I can easily get connected with our clients, my vendors, my NASA office, and with our employees in the field, anytime, anywhere.
Hey, Mom, can you look after Kaylee?
Sorry, I'll be out for a while dealing with my home and car insurance.
What? You know there's a newer way, right?
A new way?
Where have you been? Look, go to newerinsurance.com, log in, get your quote, buy your insurance, done. You can even use it to manage a claim.
Oh? By the way, it's not newer. It's N-U-A. Where's she been?
Do it anyway with NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers.
Even the goblins and ghosts know who saves you the most. It's Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Distinction Evaporated Milk, 14-ounce, $1.19. Ginger Evans Flour, 5 pounds, $3.69. Iceberg Lettuce, $1.99 each. Boneless chuck roast or steak, $8.99 per pound. Crystal Falls Spring Water, 24-pack, 16.9 ounces, $7.99. Wrap up October with the scary good prices at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
And looking at a live shot of Margaritaville in the West Bay Street area, live shot there by our drone pilot, Destiny Reed. Let's take a trip down to Cat Island.
Family Island News is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited.
The Cat Island Business Outlook was recently held at the Aris Monker Resource Center and Library under the theme Future Cat Island Branding, the National Identity Planning for Success. Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis, the keynote speaker, said technology is changing, and as it does, Bahamians can transform the classroom, workplace, and medical facilities on the Family Islands. The Prime Minister said emerging technologies have only strengthened the government's conviction that the Family Islands belong at the heart of our country's national development, creating a much more inclusive Bahamian economy. Marcellus?
Hey, all that talk about technology. Let's go back in time a bit to a time when afros, disco, and funk music reigned supreme. A time when Donna Summer, Bee Gees, and Ohio Players frequented Studio 54 in New York City. And we can't actually go back to that time, but a return to the classics is going to get us close tonight. Cordero Seymour, a.k.a. Afro Baby, here to tell us all about Return to the Classics. Welcome to Access Now.
How you doing, Marcellus? I know about Afro Baby, you know, I'm bald-headed, but you know, I can put the wig on during that time.
As I'm saying, I was looking at you, I'm like, well, I don't see no Afro. But to tell you what, really sounds interesting, though. Tell us what Return to the Classics is all about.
Basically, Return to the Classics is all about, you know, going back to 70s and 80s when I think that's the best time of music, when, you know, the old people say that's when the dance was nice. You know, you could go listen to music of love. It wasn't all of that rugga and all of the violent stuff in music, and, you know, so that's the time. We're going to go back in time. We can't actually go back in time, but we're going to bring the time to the people now and try to see what we can do to give them, you know, the memories of the old times.
So in essence, it sounds like grown folk kind of stuff. Who's behind it?
Actually, it was Sound Investment, CEO Entertainment, Chocolate Juju, Bucky Brent, and Black Carpet Entertainment.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff going on there, a lot of features, it seems like, on this year's event. And what sort of fun can we expect?
You could expect, actually, we're going to have a retro bar, basically an old school bar with all the brands from back in the day. You're going to have all of that stuff. So we're going to try and really make it, you know, we up in the 24s, we're going to try and go back to the 70s, 60s, and 80s as much as possible. Even when you drink, probably try go back and just bring a little bit of flavor of all of those drinks back to this time for everybody to enjoy.
All right, well, the big question is, where's it going to be held, and where can you get tickets?
It's at Smuggler Square, downtown Nassau, November 30th. Tickets will be at the Beauty Barn. It'll also be at Lady of Caliber, and that's where the tickets will be located.
All right, well, Cordero, a.k.a. Afro Baby Seymour. Well, I tell you what, man, our time here is up. All the best to Return to Classics. Who knows what the crew from Access Now might just bust a move on the scene. You know, coming up tonight in sports, however, let's take a look at what's going on there as they get ready for track and field action. They had track and field action this past weekend. Anglican Track and Field Meet. We'll give you details just ahead.
I've been a J.S. Johnson customer for over 15 years. This was the first and only insurance company I've ever been with since I was a teen. And the reason I stayed is because they treat everyone like family, like literally. They greet you from the door, walk you inside. You can have a nice little conversation. They treat you like family. I love it. I would definitely recommend J.S. Johnson to anybody. J.S. Johnson, that's where it's at.
Make your company representative stand out through an embroidery design on your uniforms from Janae's Uniform Center, Chesapeake Road. Janae's utilizes the latest state-of-the-art embroidery technology to monogram large and small quantities of shirts, caps, bags, and other articles. If you don't already have a digitized logo, Janae's can design and digitize your idea and bring it to life. Then install the logo of your choice from their large selections of 27 stock colors of golf shirts in cotton or dry fit, caps, or workwear. Call 394-8385 or 6 or visit www.janaes.com.
The Whopper with cheese never tasted so good. 100% flame grilled beef, now juicier. With fresh ingredients as usual. And even fluffier buns. The Whopper with cheese. Bigger, better, tastier. Get a regular combo for only $9. Only at Burger King Nassau.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant back again with another episode on the do's and don'ts at a service station. Let's go. What you ain't gonna do is just pull up to any dispenser and put the nozzle inside your car without reading the signs. Because if you put the wrong fuel inside your car and the car mess up, you could be mad at us, all right? And then you have to walk or catch bus for about 3 to 18 months. What you're supposed to do is read the signs. We place signs all over the dispenser to tell you which fuel is which. Because you put the wrong one in the car, say bop, and you could be mad at us. You could be, oh, what happened to my car? No, it's you who ain't read. It say diesel, diesel, one word, diesel. You got up, and you mad at us. Read, that's all you have to do.
Well, welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check Monday, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. This past weekend saw the Anglican Diocesan Track and Field meet wrapping up on Saturday over at the Thomas A. Robinson Track and Field Stadium. Amajal Knowles was there for the grand finale. He tells us more.
The old Thomas A. Robinson Stadium was buzzing with excitement over the weekend as it played host to the inaugural Alpheus Hawk Finlayson Anglican Diocese track meet. Now, churches from the diocese out to try and claim some bragging rights, all in the name of some good, clean fun. We spoke with one of the organizers who had this to say.
This has been an exercise for the last, I want to say, 8 or 9 months, and trying to get it sorted, probably a little before that, as we were planning on figuring out who we were going to name it after, and overwhelmingly the council supported the idea that it should be named for Mr. Finlayson, and that because we were making the decision that every track meet following would be named for this person. In doing the research, he's one of the Bahamians who has supported not just track and field for the Anglican Diocese, but for the Bahamas itself. And so we thought it was only fitting that this meet be named for him. Outside of that, we also understand that a lot of our athletes have very few opportunities to get points towards their track career. So this is one of the few places where they're able to do that.
Now, while it may be a church meet, the competitive spirit was certainly still high.
First of all, we, the members of St. George's, are truly grateful to be here today. This track meet is named in honor of one of our members, the late Alpheus Hawk Finlayson. And so we're just proud to participate. And we have from our young members to our elder members participating today, and we're just excited to be a part of this great event. We believe that this is good camaraderie among our churches, our members, and we're just grateful to be here today.
Bragging rights is a big thing in this thing. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with who comes first, second, and third. It's who gets the most points. So I can win, I can sweep the 100, but you can sweep the 800. And it's all about having persons in each event so you can stop at the points. And it's not coming, as I say, first, but once you score.
And the unofficial results claiming the first place spot would be Holy Spirit Anglican Church with 837 points. And attacking with 817 would be Holy Trinity. And rounding out the top 3 would be St. Gregory's with 710 points. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Amajal Knowles.
And that's it. You look at sports for you on this Monday. Our Monday weather just ahead. Stay with us.
For hurricane season, we got impact windows and doors. For protection, just come to our store. Plus we got tiles to pretty up your walls and your floors. We'll help you brighten up for that big bad storm. Porcelain tiles, blank tiles, mosaic tiles, a variety of styles. Before teens get right, they gotta be rough. That's why we got the best deals in the whole Bahamas. Hey, hey.
What are we gonna do? We forgot your daddy's birthday. He's in Eleuthera and we're all the way in Nassau. You got it? Okay. Yes, you're right.
Eleuthera for tomorrow? No problem.
Our company has a simple philosophy, open hands. What do open hands mean? If you keep your hands closed, nothing comes in nothing goes out. If you keep your hands open, a lot of things comes in, a lot of things goes out. We cannot expect to be a successful company without blessing our community and blessing our country.
My good friend and valued client, Dominic Stirrup, approached me following a meeting we had and told me of the idea that he had of feeding 10,000 Bahamians on Thanksgiving.
There was a lot of details to put together, had to figure out how to get it done. But at the end, it was worth it. At the end, it gave me a heart of gratitude to know that our company is reaching out to so many persons.
We invite you on a journey to witness an extraordinary chapter in the story of the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, a tale of compassion, unity, and the true spirit of Thanksgiving.
It's time for your Access weather forecast. Lots of showers moving across the southeast Bahamas from the Turks and Caicos Islands. Some of that now spreading into the central and northwestern parts of the country, all associated with an area of low pressure just to the east of the southeast Bahamas, coupled with newly formed tropical storm Raphael, which is moving towards the north and is expected to clip the western coast of Jamaica sometime on Tuesday, and then eventually moving on, intensifying, becoming a Category 2 as it moves across the western tip of Cuba. The good news is it will stay well to the west of the Bahamas. Your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Live Business, where you're always protected during the worst storms. In the northwestern parts of our country tonight through Tuesday, easterly winds 20 to 25 knots. They will be gusting in excess of 35 knots a time. Very, very rough sea conditions, 7 to 12 feet over the ocean. High tide taking place at 9:25 tonight, with a second high tide at 9:51 tomorrow morning. And for the central and southeastern islands, also through Tuesday, east to southeast winds 15 to 25 knots, wave heights 5 to 8 feet, with advisory in place for your boaters. And then on Wednesday, for all areas, we're going to have a southeast flow, 15 to 25 knots, wave heights 5 to 8 feet. High tide on Wednesday, 10:36 in the morning, with a low tide at 5:19 in the afternoon. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
She texts me back. She says she ready.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But join me at 11 o'clock for a full weather update. Back to you, Marcellus and LaDon.
All right, thanks, Basil. Well, heavy breeze and some rain still hanging around, LaDon.
The good thing is, though, Marcellus, is just 26 more days left to go before the Atlantic hurricane season ends.
Well, let's hope. Well, let's hope the Atlantic remains quiet for the remainder of that season. But for now, let's check out Matea Cunningham and let's talk socials.
Do you smell that? It's the smell of a fresh new week. Happy Monday evening, everyone. I'm Matea, and this is Let's Talk Socials, the segment where I talk to you for 1 minute and 30 about what's got the likes, views, comments, and engagement on social media. Now that I've used 20 seconds of that time, let's dive in. Today, we're tackling a hot topic about a certain social media app that's stirring up some serious debate. Is it going extinct? Any guesses? Cue the Jeopardy music. If you guessed Facebook, you hit the nail on the head. The chatter on socials has shifted to who even uses Facebook anymore. And get this, how wild would it be if I told you Facebook is starting to feel a bit like MySpace, a relic of the past. Just like the early 2000s are the new 80s in our cultural memory. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're still an avid Facebook user, I'm right there with you. But let's hear what others are saying. An article from Le Monde titled, "Is Facebook Outdated? 20 years on, why the social media platform is still the most popular," reveals some spicy opinions. One response called it old-fashioned, a dinosaur, and definitely for the old people. Ouch. But Facebook director Tom Allison fires back, declaring Facebook is in fact alive and thriving, challenging those perceptions head on. So, what do you think? Is Facebook fading into obscurity, or is it just getting started? The final verdict is up to you. I'm Matea, and this has been Let's Talk Socials.
All right, thanks a lot, Matea. Good job as usual. Saddened to hear, though, the news about music icon Quincy Jones passing away. I think it was 91 or something like that. May his soul rest in peace. Well, that's a wrap for us tonight. Be sure to tune in for Access Now tomorrow.
Stay tuned for the rundown. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Ready to score big on unbeatable savings? Tune into What's Trending's Deals and Steals with Ace Hardware every Wednesday at 6 p.m. starting in November. Save on items from power tools to paint, lawn care to Christmas decor. They've got the essentials you need to tackle any project at prices that can't be beat. Dive into their special offers up to 50% off select items. Need a new grill for those backyard barbecues? How about a fresh coat of paint to revamp your space? They've got you covered. That's every Wednesday at 6 p.m. starting in November. Don't miss out on Deals and Steals with Ace Hardware.
Clint Watson has been the trusted voice of journalism for over 2 decades. He is your first choice for hard-hitting discussions, your best choice for current affairs issues and investigative journalism. It's time to start the journey of relentless journalism. It's time to start the journey of facts over fiction. It's time for the Rundown with Clint Watson here on ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
I don't know, but there's all kind of cars in this parking lot. You ain't even know where to park. Yeah, that's no parking. Look at this way. Like, you ain't get nowhere to go. Don't park. Just don't park. Yeah, that's handicap. No, you can't park in handicap spot. I ain't gonna be that long. I ain't gonna be that long. Handicap spot, boy, what's going on, dog? I tell you we shouldn't park here now. This way parking. I tell you we shouldn't park here. Don't get one of these things. My bad big bro, and he got a sticker inside this. Say this mud though. We gotta move. This is handicap spot. That's what we get. But we gotta move. Don't. We can move right now. Sorry.
Be considerate. Don't use disabled parking spaces without a decal in your vehicle. This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
Our mandate on the mission statement for the program is to develop community leaders and nation builders through the art of Jonquil. The future belongs to them, so being able to instill the culture in young people and at the same time make them productive citizens of the society is basically what our program offers. We teach them from scratch, so how to pace, how to beat a drum, how to ring a cowbell, how to blow a horn, to get that good understanding of what the culture is like. The program is more than just Jonquil itself, where we bring a group of teens to perform, but we also assist them with life lessons, finding scholarship opportunities for them to go abroad and further their education. In this day and time, it's very hard for kids coming up, and so we try to find means within the Jonquil arena, but at the same time use just Jonquil as the outlet to make them better at life. Crime-free? Looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
At the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium, I'm Marcellus Hall. This is ZNS.
The Rundown is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited. This is The Rundown. Good evening. I'm Julian Reed, sitting in for Clint Watson, who's on leave. We're going to start tonight talking about the economy. The economy continued to expand over the first 3 quarters of 2024, but the available indicators of growth slowed in comparison to 2023. That's the latest data from the central bank in its monthly economic and financial developments for September. The report also showed that the economy continued to benefit from lower inflation in imported goods and services. The report ranges from the latest in the gross domestic product and tourism numbers and we'll take a closer look at that. Also, it's Diplomatic Week, and for the first time, it's being held outside of the Capitol. Actually, that is not correct. This is the third time it's being held outside the Capitol. It's being held in Grand Bahama, the third time since 2005. Now, people are focusing on climate change and centered discussions. Ambassador Ron Pinder will join us a bit later, and we're going to talk about what's going on with the focuses over the next few days. We're also going to tell you how resounding a smash it was with Aviation Week. The director of aviation, Dr. Kenneth Romer, joins us later in this broadcast to tell us about the pivotal conversations, deals, secure a new airlift that could possibly be coming here soon. All that and more when the rundown returns after this break. Stay with us.
That's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
My JBI. I find your red kidney bean with coconut milk to be absolutely wonderful. The flavor within the coconut milk just make the rice stand out even more.
It's been 30 years, and for as long as I've known you, I've always enjoyed your products, especially your coconut water. It's the closest thing to getting it fresh out of the coconut itself. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this delicious coconut water. It's the best on the market.
JBI coconut water has always been my choice of coconut water because it's just the closest thing to the natural thing. They're always on stock, and I love it.
Try JBI.
Happy anniversary, JBI.
Congratulations on your 30th year.
Happy anniversary, JBI.
Thank you, Bahamas.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Welcome back. Taking a look at one of the top stories making national news tonight. The central bank released its monthly economic and financial developments for September 24 today, and the first 3 quarters of 2024 saw the local economy expanding. The downside, though, is that the growth slowed compared to what was realized in 2023. Was the central bank caught off guard? Well, not based on what its governor, John Roll, who shared all of this at this morning's monthly briefing. As Mr. Roll tells it, this was expected.
These trends are further in line with the expected leveling off in gains since the economy completed its recovery from the pandemic. The indicators reflect slower growth in tourism earnings due to constrained capacity in the stopover segment and also moderation in the otherwise healthy cruise trends. In addition, foreign investments are supporting sustained construction activity and, along with tourism, employment growth.
Well, the central bank governor also revealed lowered inflation has also been a plus for the economy. All in all, though, there's every expectation of overall growth this year as well as in 2025, albeit more subdued.
Though positive, on balance, a range of factors affect tourism. Cruise capacity has the potential to expand further if local supply-side conditions continue to strengthen. Meanwhile, the demand-side conditions continue to strengthen. Meanwhile, the demand-side forecasts are less uncertain for stopover visitors, given the averted risk of a recession in the United States and other major economies. Moreover, the projected reduction in major central bank interest rates as inflation comes under control increases the ease of funding for potential foreign investments, and it reduces the expected cost of servicing the government's existing foreign currency debt.
Well, it's time to regroup, strategize, and be reminded of their mission. Bahamian diplomats and others in the diplomatic corps are in Grand Bahama this week. We'll tell you why and what their plans are right after this.
That's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There are over 3 million shipwrecks on the ocean floor, just waiting to be found. Nothing is truly ever lost at sea, only hidden by time and sand. When I put this fleet together, it wasn't just for fun. And although we do have fun, we never lose sight of our goal. Right here, right now, we are on a mission.
Our company offers a simple philosophy, open hands. What do open hands mean? If you keep your hands closed, nothing comes in, nothing goes out. If you keep your hands open, a lot of things comes in, a lot of things goes out. We cannot expect to be a successful company without blessing our community and blessing our country.
My good friend and valued client, Dominic Stirrup, approached me following a meeting we had and told me of the idea that he had of feeding 10,000 Bahamians on Thanksgiving.
There was a lot of details to put together, had to figure out how to get it done. But at the end, it was worth it. At the end, it gave me a heart of gratitude to know that our company is reaching out to so many persons.
We invite you on a journey to witness an extraordinary chapter in the story of the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, a tale of compassion, unity, and the true spirit of Thanksgiving.
This week, Bahamian diplomats and foreign diplomats accredited to the Bahamas are in Grand Bahama for the annual Diplomatic Week. It's a celebration of the country's foreign relations and a tribute to the work of diplomats. The week showcases Bahamian culture, promotes multilateral cooperation, and addresses critical issues like climate change and climate justice. In fact, climate change is the nucleus of the diplomats' discussions this week. The Davis administration is adamant to shift the world's focus and actions to sustainable practices that will secure a global future, all with the cooperation and engagement of the country's international counterparts. Joining us live via Zoom is Diplomatic Week Chairman, Ambassador at Large, Ron Pinder. Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening, Julian. It is good to be here. Thank you for having me. Good evening, Bahamas.
Well, before we get started, what's the mood like in Grand Bahama with all of the diplomats that are accredited to the country and those that we've sent abroad?
Well, it is actually a very, very exciting time. As you have already indicated, all of our diplomats from abroad and around the world have been recalled for high-level talks with varying government ministers and government ministries, as well as we have invited ambassadors who are credentialed to the Bahamas from around the world, including who are based in Jamaica, Cuba, New York, Washington, and elsewhere from around the world for high-level talks with Bahamian diplomats. So it's a power-packed agenda, and we're absolutely thrilled and excited.
Well, tell us about that agenda, please. What's on it? And, of course, we know that since climate change is the country's #1 foreign policy issue, that will be exceptionally high on the agenda. That will dominate the agenda, I presume.
Absolutely, it will dominate the agenda. The theme for this year's diplomatic week is climate, trade, and cultural diplomacy. And so we have already started off with a church service at First Baptist Church, and the pastor there is Reverend Dr. Keith Russell, who is also himself an ambassador at large in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in Grand Bahama. And today was a closed session where we went through a number of priority items by the government, talking about administration, talking about financial management, etc. Because as you know, our ambassadors who are posted overseas are ahead of their missions. And so they have finances to manage. They also have staff to manage, in addition to the various diplomatic outreach that they must engage in to represent the interests of the Bahamas. And tomorrow, Julian, we will commence with our official opening ceremony, which will be done by the Honorable Prime Minister, Philip Brave Davis. And then we will move right into our first plenary session, which deals with sustainable development, an agenda for climate vulnerable states. Shortly thereafter, we will have a distinguished lecture, the distinguished George Stewart lecture on the legal aspects of sea level rise and its impact on countries such as the Bahamas. And then immediately following that, we will go into a lunch break. And of course, we will continue the plenary sessions with cooperation on climate smart agriculture. So the first day of the joint plenary sessions will be focused entirely on climate change, and its impact on small island developing states.
Now, obviously, the Prime Minister has had a very important global impact on the issue of climate change and related matters. And it is a serious challenge. I think anyone, I mean, just even with the rains over the past few days, you feel it. The road that we live on, we can see how that's been impacted.
Absolutely.
Yes. Now, what kind of training is, or specialist training or understanding is being administered to our diplomats in their various capacities abroad so that they could understand the science? Because that's probably the thing I found for a lot of people is getting over the science of what it is. And once they understand the science, they're better able to actually communicate what they need to.
Well, absolutely, excellent question. And a diplomat has to be well-informed, well-read. He or she has to be knowledgeable about government policy, both from a technical aspect and also from a policy aspect. And so the plenary sessions are really designed to have high-level interaction between the government minister and other ambassadors, foreign ambassadors, that is, to talk about not only the Bahamas' policy agenda, but also how that policy agenda impacts and fit into the larger scheme of things on a global stage. And so the agenda is designed not only to advance the foreign policy agenda of the Bahamas, but also it is designed to have that high-level interaction between our foreign ambassadors who speak to how they can assist, their country can assist, cooperate, collaborate on these very, very important issues. And so it is definitely an excellent briefing session where we not only hear from technical experts, but we also hear from policy makers as well in terms of shaping the Bahamas' agenda, understanding what those priorities are, and seeing how those priorities fit into the larger scheme of things in terms of leveraging cooperation, as well as getting technical assistance from international organizations and other sister countries around the world.
Now, the Prime Minister recently returned from Samoa, where CHOGM was held, and of course the climate issue was on the agenda. And I'm sure that a lot of what he will say tomorrow will focus on what comes out of that. Now, I actually haven't had a chance to read the communique yet, but can you enlighten us a little bit what the Prime Minister might touch on as a result of the talks in Samoa?
Well, he would not only focus on climate justice, small island developing states getting not only technical assistance, but also financial assistance from those larger countries who, through their varying activities, have contributed by and large to this whole issue of climate change. As you know, a country like the Bahamas, who is impacted by, let's say, a hurricane, our national budget could very easily be wiped out from one hurricane. And so moving forward, the Prime Minister is seeking not only to bring focused attention on the impact of climate change on small island developing states like the Bahamas, but also getting technical assistance and getting that financial support from larger countries who, through their activities, be it greenhouse gas emissions or any activity they engage in terms of impacting negatively the environment, getting technical assistance and financial resources from those larger countries. The second pillar of that report that you cited that came out of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting is also reparations as a result of slavery.
And I actually was going to get to that.
Absolutely. And so that is another key, very topical issue. As you know, the Bahamas was a key component or a key piece of the larger puzzle of the slave trade under the British administration, the British Empire. And so we're seeking reparations as a result of the very negative impact of slavery and the slave trade over the many years.
And if I could get your personal opinion on this, because David Lammy, the UK Foreign Secretary, has changed his tune just a little bit now. He's now, they're going from saying, oh, well, you know, we're not paying out any money because it costs us billions of dollars, to saying that, well, you know, we got to talk about it, which is very good, but it's not about cash transfers per se. It's about, to me, doing the same thing that they've always been doing as far as cooperation, but probably on a higher level. Now, he was speaking specifically to African countries. Any word on what his message might be for the Caribbean and countries like the Bahamas?
Well, I tell you, I think even the discussion on African countries, the Prime Minister sees that as an open door for us to walk boldly and very proudly in to negotiate on behalf of not only the Bahamas, but also the wider Caribbean community, particularly those English-speaking countries that are former colonies of the British Empire. And I think that that underscores the fact that they have moved away from simply brushing this issue aside to seriously sitting down, negotiating and discussing this issue and seeing how slavery and the entire slave trade negatively impacted not only the world, but this region in particular.
Great. Also at CHOGM, well, I see you up, and I guess congratulations to the new Secretary General of the Commonwealth, who is a Ghanaian politician and diplomat. But speaking to the President of Ghana, our Prime Minister, Prime Minister Davis, communicated that we hope to expand our presence in Africa. Do we actually have a physical presence in Africa now? I know we have people who are accredited to it, but do we have an actual mission anywhere in Africa now?
No, that is under active consideration right now. As you know, we have His Excellency Andrew Wilson, who is our ambassador, non-resident ambassador to Ghana. We're in active discussions right now saying where it is best to strategically place a physical presence on the African continent. And so the government is looking at a number of options, and which will be the best location to represent our interests and perhaps even the interests of the wider Caribbean community. You know, sometimes when the Bahamian public hear about a diplomat or an ambassador or even foreign travel, there is a negative connotation associated with it in certain circles. But the world is now more interdependent, more than ever. And so it is important that a country not only has its interests represented, but also to be strategically placed in the world so as to be around the table, so as to not only represent its own interests, but also the wider interest of the region that a country is in.
Great. Ambassador, we have to take a break right now, but please stay with us because we have a lot more to talk about. Great.
Certainly.
We'll be back on the rundown right after this.
That's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
By JBI. Thank you for providing quality products for the Bahamian table for over 30 years. I really love all your products, but my favorite is the kidney bean with coconut milk. I use this with my peas and rice. I use it in my vegetable soup. I use this in my pea soup and dumpling. I love it. It has a wonderful flavor. So, on your 30th anniversary, I just want to wish you all the best and make millions.
I absolutely love the products that you guys have. My favorite has to be the coconut water because it tastes just like coconut water at home.
Try JBI. Happy 30th anniversary, JBI.
Keep doing what you're doing, and I hope you have another 30 years.
Thank you, Bahamas.
Hardware is the helpful place. Everything you need under one roof, from electrical, paint, plumbing, outdoor, barbecue, automotive, lawn and garden, pet supplies, houseware, and seasons. Hurricane season is now here, so for all your hurricane needs, we have a 25% off bargain zone.
Hey, thanks. I would have given more stuff, but I didn't bring my money. I thought this was a glove, and I thought everything was free. Finally know what it is now. Ace.
We're located on St. Albans Drive, West Bay Street, open Monday to Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and closed for lunch 2 p.m. to 3 p.m.
If you're just joining us, we're speaking with Ambassador Ron Pinder, who is the chairman of Diplomatic Week, which is underway in Freeport. Ambassador Pinder, before the break, we were talking about the diplomatic presence in Africa. Excuse me. How many missions do we have around the world right now, and about how many diplomats are credited to them?
We have several diplomatic missions around the world. And I just want to, for accuracy, refer to my notes a moment. And so we have a representative in Geneva, Switzerland. We have a mission in New York at the United Nations. We have a mission in Washington, D.C. We have a mission in Cuba. We have a mission in the United Kingdom at the Court of St. James. We also have a mission in China. We have a mission in Ottawa, Canada, and also a mission in Belgium, in Brussels. In addition to that, we have a mission at the Organization of American States in Washington, D.C., another mission in the UK at the International Maritime Organization. We also have a mission in Haiti. And of course, we have a number of consulates located throughout the United States, as well as honorary consulates located around the world. And so we have an extensive presence for our size, relatively speaking. But the aim of the government of the Bahamas is to have a diplomatic presence in every country of the world. That does not necessarily mean that we would have an overseas mission, but through, for example, an honorary consulate. So a Bahamian who lives in a foreign country abroad would be designated as the honorary consul for the Bahamas, representing the interests of the Bahamas in that country, and particularly on a consular level, that is dealing with issues of passport loss, dealing with, for example, the unfortunate loss of life, and also dealing with some policy issues on a smaller level. So the government of the Bahamas is seeking to have the interests of Bahamians of the country represented in every single country of the world, because we believe that wherever a Bahamian is, whether it's through business, whether it's through education, whether it's through work, or simply being a tourist, we believe that the resources of the government should have some diplomatic presence there to facilitate the needs of Bahamians anywhere in the world. And again, it is an expensive undertaking, but one of the ways the government has sought to do that again is through the appointment of honorary consuls, yes, which means that there is far less cost when you look at considering establishing a full embassy or full consulate office.
Let's speak a little bit about the Foreign Service Institute and how critical that is to building capacity, particularly because a lot of the people who I've seen who are going abroad have had no experience in international relations. So obviously a lot of training and negotiating, skills building are critical. How important and active is the Foreign Service Institute in doing that?
Sure. The Foreign Service Institute is very, very active. And they do some intensive training. And so one does not necessarily need to have, for example, a background in political science, if you will. For example, although that helps, a background in political science, a background in law, in public policy, really helps to complement the work of a diplomat. We also have diplomats whose focus or expertise is in the area of trade. We also have diplomats whose area and focus is in the area of sports, for example. So, for example, Chris Brown is an ambassador at large for sports, and he is seeking to leverage the strategic location of the Bahamas, trying to attract, for example, professional sporting clubs and sporting organizations to the Bahamas to do their spring training, to recruit Bahamian athletes, etc. His focus has also been trying to recruit Bahamian students to expand, for example, their professional capacity in accessing institutions of higher learning to better develop their sporting skills, etc.
So you would say that we're already reaping the benefits of these actions?
Absolutely. We are certainly reaping the benefits of our diplomatic presence around the world. And then you have certain ambassadors like myself. In addition to being an ambassador at large with responsibilities for educational and environmental matters, I'm also assigned to the International Atomic Energy Agency, which is located in Vienna, Austria, and also to the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, and that is located in The Hague, Netherlands. And so every international organization where there is both treaty obligations or obligations under a convention, it is critical that the Bahamas be at the table to either lobby for or lobby against a particular policy agenda or treaty obligation that may or may not be in the best interest of the Bahamas.
Well, my producer's telling me I only have one more question, but I'm going to try to put two in. One about, we're actually going for a bid for the UN Security Council in 2026. Obviously, that's going to be on the agenda for Diplomatic Week.
Absolutely.
And U.S. elections tomorrow. You got to be talking about that.
Yes. Well, the focus on the following day is entirely on our candidacy for the Security Council. As you know, there is a lot going on in the world, and what we will seek to showcase to our diplomatic colleagues from around the world is the important role that a small island developing state like the Bahamas plays being at the table of the Security Council. And it's so important for the Bahamas not only to be at the table, but also to be able to negotiate for and negotiate with and to lobby with other countries of the world, because oftentimes in international organization, it is one country, one vote. It does not matter the size. And so what we will seek to do is not only share our policy agenda, but also bring to the fore those policy agendas that impact directly small island developing states, not only in the Caribbean region, but also around the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ambassador Pender, we thank you for being with us. You actually have me feeling quite nostalgic today. You may or may not know that I was actually the first Bahamian negotiator on the Foreign Service side of the Biodiversity Convention, under the expertise of Dr. Donald Cooper. This is way back in 1989, but still a wonderful experience that stays with me. But all the best wishes for Diplomatic Week, and we look forward to seeing the merits of all of this work that you're putting into it. Have a good week.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and thanks for having me. And by the way, Julian, you mentioned Dr. Donald Cooper. Because of those negotiations you all were involved in, he is now strategically placed at a UN agency.
I know that. He's been doing it for quite some time. I owe him a debt of gratitude.
Absolutely.
Anyway, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me again.
Yes.
Good night, Bahamas.
After the break, Aviation Week, a resounding success. We have the man behind it right after this.
That's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah.
Abuse, domestic violence, suicidal tendencies. Are you being stressed out from these problems? Call the national hotline at 422-2763 or 322-2763. There are trained social workers available 24 hours to help you. Know that you are not alone in this.
Ready to score big on unbeatable savings? Tune into What's Trending's Deals and Steals with Ace Hardware every Wednesday at 6 p.m. starting in November. Save on items from power tools to paint, lawn care to Christmas decor. They've got the essentials you need to tackle any project at prices that can't be beat. Dive into their special offers up to 50% off select items. Need a new grill for those backyard barbecues? How about a fresh coat of paint to revamp your space? They've got you covered. That's every Wednesday at 6 p.m. starting in November. Don't miss out on Deals and Steals with Ace Hardware.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs.
Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine one.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
we're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
Welcome back. You probably heard about Aviation Week, but what is it really and what does it encompass? Well, Director of Aviation, Dr. Kenneth Romer, joins us to tell us all about it and the outcomes. Good evening and welcome to The Rundown.
Good evening. It's always such a great feeling being in good company.
Tell us how Aviation Week came about.
Well, in 2023, July the 1st, for the first time in our country's history, we actually developed and put in place a national aviation strategic plan. So notwithstanding the rich legacy of aviation, there has never really been a strategic plan that speaks about the consolidation of aviation, the respective agencies. So we had an 8-pronged plan. Among the 8 prongs, one of them was strengthening strategic partnerships. So we were intentional about not only strategic partnerships with our domestic aviation partners, but also our international partners. You know, a lot of times persons don't understand the magnitude of aviation in the country. When there is a bad incident on an aircraft, persons think about aviation. There's a bad experience perhaps on Bahamas Air or some other carrier. We think about aviation. But aviation, again, is a vast ecosystem. After last week, we consider ourselves as a family. So when I assumed the office as the Director of Aviation, it was interesting that a cabinet paper established in 2018 the Department of Aviation, and the language of the cabinet paper actually referred to it as uniting the silos in aviation. So aviation by nature was somewhat fragmented. We had the operators, we had the regulators, and even though they were all performing really important tasks and function, we found that they very seldom found themselves at the table considering themselves as family. They were competing agendas, of course, and so a part of our strategic plan among the 8-prong focus areas was really how do we engage strategic partnerships. So this was a theme of this year's aviation. Last year, the Honorable Prime Minister actually, by way of official proclamation, declared that the 4th week in each October will be designated as Aviation Week. So we jump-started Aviation Week last year. We rolled out our policy last year. We spoke about what we were doing, our framework, our strategy. And this second year, we brought all of our partners together. Aviation really has 8 agencies that the government really provides oversight for to the Department of Aviation. So we're looking at air accident. That's really under the Ministry of Transport, again, for policy reasons. You're looking at the Airport Authority, several hundred employees at the Airport Authority. You're looking again at your Bahamas Air and your Bahamas Air Navigation Service Authority. You're looking at your Bimini Airport Development Partners, your Civil Aviation Authority of the Bahamas. You're looking at Nassau Flight Services. You're looking at NAD. So we said Bahamas Air. So when you look at the aviation ecosystem, you have over 4,000 persons who are directly employed in aviation. We call them our partners. But in addition to that, you must think about the correlation and the interdependence between tourism and aviation. Right. Deputy Prime Minister Kupo says it this way, that tourism is our country's lifeblood. We know that tourism contributes some 50% towards our GDP. 70% of employment in our country is tourism linked. But tourism might be the lifeblood, aviation is the oxygen. So there cannot be tourism without aviation. You're looking at stopover arrivals. Stopover arrivals, last year we did about 1.8 million stopover arrivals. By terms of their spend, they're spending about 26 times more than the average cruise passenger. So aviation really fuels our economy. It puts heads in beds, or it puts butts in seats. It puts heads in beds and money into the pockets of our entrepreneurs and stakeholders. So aviation is important, again, to sustaining the economy of our Bahamas.
So what do you think is the greatest outcome after last week's meeting, that what your got a more cohesive operation or mechanism now? Would you say that?
I think that we've been trending in the right direction over the past 12 months, but having our partners in one space. In several major events, for the first time, we held the first ever Aviation Stakeholders Awards. And these were not just persons who are what your traditional employees in aviation. We looked at our promotion boards. We celebrated our media partners, who are very important, by the way, in helping to promote and advance aviation. We celebrated our aviation cadets. I'm excited about this one because for the first time in our country's history, we established the Bahamas Aeronautical Academy, and we have the first ever aviation cadet program in the Bahamas. We are training the future of aviation today.
So tell us, what is the age requirement to get involved in that? How young can you be to get up?
For parents who are saying, my 5-year-old is looking up and pointing, the plane, when the plane passes over. And I'm saying there was a good chance that child is going to end up becoming a pilot, because once aviation's in our blood, it never comes out. But strategically, we are really focusing on our high schools because we are seeing matriculation from the high schools. We're signing MOUs with major universities across the U.S., flight schools, Aeronautical Academy. We were able to have 2 ladies in January go to Qatar Aeronautical Academy. Really? We're about to sign an MOU with Middle Tennessee State University. We're speaking to Embry-Riddle.
We have a Bahamian president there.
We have a Bahamian president, Dr. McPhee, who is doing a significant job and is guaranteed placement for our aviation students. And so one of the things we're proud about is we saw the vast ecosystem for aviation, our past aviators. You're looking at honoring for the first time personally Captain Gus Roberts, Captain Paul Arner. We can go on. So these guys, the sense of pride I saw them feel when they walked across the stage at Government House and they were presented with an Aviation Medal of Honor. To see the past aviators, those whose shoulder we stand on to are taller than we are. To see the present aviators, those who are leading our aviation agencies, our existing pilots, the businesses, domestic carriers, and then the future of aviation. One of the most touching things I saw during the medal honors at the Government House, and we thank Her Excellency again for generously hosting us, we did some posthumous awards. So we saw the son of Captain Byron Ferguson, who suffered again a loss of life in a plane crash. His son came there adorned with aviation badges, wanted to be a pilot.
And that's a wonderful, I'm glad you raised that, because there's a point here that I was going to make, because and I, well, his mother, of course, we know very well.
I like this.
And there was a problem with runway lights, right? And we understand that there may have been, I know that the investigation is continuing now with the crash off Andros, well, off Nassau that was heading to Andros. And I understand that lights might have been an issue there. Well, we don't know the outcome of the investigation yet, but what are we doing to ensure that things like that aren't issues?
I think we need to address the elephant in the room, and that is we have an aging aviation and airport infrastructure. The Bahamas is unique. The Airport Authority manages some 28 airports across our archipelago. In addition to the Freeport Airport, Grand Bahama International, and Nassau. And so from an infrastructural point of view, it's very difficult and costly to maintain a portfolio of over 60 airports throughout our archipelago.
So that's a real problem, because if I remember correctly, during her first time as Transport Minister, Glenys Hannah Martin actually had runway lights installed throughout the Family Islands.
Maintaining these runway lights, again, has become a priority for the Airport Authority. I can say right now, as we speak, we are addressing the solar lighting in Rock Sound.
Okay.
So what we have asked them to do, and this is 2 or so years ago, we said we want an audit of every single airport. We can't turn a blind eye to the fact that some of our infrastructure is aging, that there are deficiencies, and we can't pass the buck, to be quite frank, when it comes down to addressing things such as the condition of our runways, the lighting. When you look at the airport infrastructure, some of our family islands that are experiencing deficiencies when it comes to the infrastructure, but it has to be aligned with a strategy. And so you really can't plan in isolation. You've got to identify the problems and put a plan to address the problems when they are brought to our attention.
So out of this strategic negotiation, if you will, how far out are we looking at, and what is the real objective, let's say 5, 10 years from now?
The strategy is a 5-year strategy. And there are particular components of the plan that have been accelerated. For example, we can't wait 5 years to address the state of some of our family island infrastructure. So you discovered now that 2 years ago, year and a half, the government announced what they call the Family Island Renaissance Program that addresses airport infrastructure across a portfolio of some 14 airports. Right now, as we speak, there is active construction taking place now in Bimini. We saw Governor's Harbor had well over $10 million in airport infrastructure.
Arthur's Town as well.
Arthur's Town.
It's really an aggressive program that the government's trying to do all at once, really.
All at once, but again, it's a time whose time has come. Again, we're looking medium and long term to address it, but persons in the family islands especially are crying out for attention when it comes to the development of the infrastructure. Again, it's linked again to the economic development of these family islands. It creates opportunities for entrepreneurs and stakeholders. It will cause us now to attract additional airlift, domestic and foreign airlift. And the family islands, again, are perhaps our best kept secret. We know that the majority, the lion's share of our traffic comes into Nassau, Paradise Island, but in tourism, we're promoting things such a multi-destination experience. We want them to come to Nassau, but at the same time, go to Cat Island. But the airlines are saying, well, we can't land in Cat Island. So we're developing new bodies as we speak. We're looking at Arthur's Town. We built a new airport in Great Harbor Key. We're about to relaunch again the Exuma International Airport. We're doing Roxanne. We went out to tender for Meguana Airport. We're building again a new airport, $80 million, 2 phases in Bimini. So we're building airports. Grand Bahama is getting attention.
Because Meguana has one of the largest runways in the country.
Has one of the largest runway in the country. It's a beautiful component of our tourism product. And private aviation is going to be critical in Meguana. But if you build it, they will come. And it's about time that we as a country take aviation very seriously, and we address the elephant in the room, and we have a strategy that is working, and a strategy, again, that has the full support of the government of the Bahamas.
Let's talk about compliance as well, right? Ensuring that people are appropriately licensed and working within that ambit. How strict is that now?
The Civil Aviation Authority of the Bahamas, first was Civil Aviation Department. You're looking at Captain Pat Rolls, Cyril Sant, and others. These persons, again, have been on the other side of the equation. They have flown. They understand the language of aviation.
Well, they know the needs.
They know the needs also. And so compliance is an imperative of the Civil Aviation Department. We are subject, again, to international audits, ICAO, FAA. And the good thing is we had an IASA audit just several months ago, and we actually maintain Category 1 status. Wow. But it speaks again about the culture of compliance and safety. Safety is everybody's business. And so the Civil Aviation Department of the Bahamas would have recently intensified the campaign. If you see something that looks wrong, that is wrong, please report it. If everybody is watching, our airwaves will be a little safer. We have a culture in the Bahamas. We have the hacking culture. You know, persons, they take chances, of course. And then when something happens, that's the reality. When something happens, we make a lot of noise about it. But we have to create a culture of safety and also a culture of excellence, and that must be across the entire aviation ecosystem.
What about rules for having co-pilots? Because, and I'm asking this because it always came across my mind. I was going to Meguana, actually with a colleague here from ZNS, and you know, there's a part when you get out from Acklands and all you can see is blue, and I'm like, if this pilot has a heart attack, we're going down. You know what I mean? Is there a regulation or a stipulation that you need to have a co-pilot?
Aircrafts, again, speak about minimum staffing requirements. For example, you'll find that some aircrafts would have one cabin attendant, some would have more, based upon the size of the aircraft, again, the specs of the aircraft. So some aircrafts really don't require for there to be a right seat, a second officer. It's a good practice, of course, to have that in the interest of safety, but all aircrafts are not required. For flying a single engine plane, for example, a Cessna 172, I command that. I do.
Okay.
All right. But we call sometimes desk pilot, have an FAA written. So I understand, again, the theory of aviation. But one of my proudest moments is actually working with an airline. as a COO back in the day. And so pilots are friends. It's a very close-knit community. And so it's a shared responsibility for us to communicate, to keep each other safe, and to do what's right and what's best for aviation. Also honoring the pilots of the past, those who have a sense of pride, those upon whose shoulders we are standing, to engage them in the conversation. And if we do this together, we can take aviation to the next level in our country.
If I could take it just a little further, though, because obviously this is a part of aviation, although to a different level. SpaceX is doing some things in this country. Are you involved in that?
Yes,
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, we are. When it comes again to SpaceX, aviation, the way it was, is not the way it now is. So there are innovations in aviation. When it comes to the SpaceX program, and the reality is that they are active in our airspace. So they have been having conversations again with our minister responsible for aviation, Civil Aviation Authority, and other regulators. And we're looking at ways now to innovate our aviation product beyond just your commercial aviation. So we're doing SpaceX. At the same time, we're looking at amphibious aviation, your seaplane landings. We have runways. We're familiar with Chalk's Airline. As a matter of fact, Chalk's Airline was the history of aviation began with Chalk's Airline. And Pan American after Chalk's. But we have to go back to amphibious airlift. We have runways in our oceans, and we could now we could become the Maldives of the Caribbean. Not just amphibious airlift, we're also looking at vertical airlifts, luxury helicopters. So we need to diversify our aviation product, move beyond just your commercial aviation, amphibious airlift, SpaceX, vertical airlift, commercial, private aviation, and that's how we diversify our aviation
all
industry.
of these other things, I guess, come under aviation too. Of course, we're a little ways away from it here, I assume, but you have air taxis, and I don't mean, I'm talking about ones that can be driven by, ordinary driver's license holders. And then you have these other sort of like mechanisms that take you up in the air. I can't, James Bond type things.
Yes.
I can't remember the appropriate name for them. Are they legal here?
They are.
They are.
Remember that we are highly regulated. Civil Aviation Authority, when it comes to even operating drones, there is a whole department in our Civil Aviation Authority of Bahamas that actually regulates and licenses anything, again, that flies in our airspace really is subject to regulation. And our Civil Aviation Authority of the Bahamas does a wonderful job when it comes to oversight for anything that relates to aviation.
You spoke about airspace. We'd had negotiations for years and years and years. How much of our airspace do we actually control and own now?
About 3 years ago, we actually maintained or took greater ownership of our airspace. We're still working again with the FAA, but I think that when it comes to our airspace, we have done ourselves a disservice over the years. When it comes to even, I use it lightly, monetizing our airspace. Persons are consistently traversing our airspace, and the Bahamas really did not benefit when it comes to a financial perspective, again, from oversight, from overflying our airspace. But when you look at BANSA, the Bahamas Air Navigation Services Authority, just about 3 or so years ago, we began to maintain control over our airspace, still working again with the FAA. There have been, of course, some discussions in the public domain. There were some airlines who would have raised concerns. They've come to the table. They were still at the negotiation. But I think we're in a better position today than we were 10 years ago when it comes now to managing our own airspace, demonstrating our sovereign right. Okay,
now we spoke about Aviation Week, but we haven't really talked about ALTA very much. In the last few minutes that we have, let's speak a little bit about that.
Well, first of all,
why that was so important.
Yeah, Aviation Week was one for the history books. In addition to having major events such as the stakeholders luncheon, the celebrating our stakeholders, and the historic medal presentation at Government House, we also hosted the ALTA Conference. This is the Association of Latin American Air Transport Association. The Caribbean leaders in aviation were here. your Latin America leaders in aviation were here, over 400 persons. You're looking at names such as the CEO of your Avianca and your Copa. You're looking at the FAA, the leaders in the FAA. You're looking at ministers of tourism across the Latin America region. What this says to us is that the eyes of the world is really on the Bahamas. This is our third conference actually for the year. We had the IFATCA, the International Federation of Air Traffic Controllers were here. Conference of the Americas were here from throughout the UK and Canada, the United States, the Middle East. They came here just in August, and now in October, we're hosting a major conference for Latin American and Caribbean leaders in aviation. This speaks again about us leveraging our presence in the Latin America community. Reality is that stopovers, direct stopovers, we have an interconnected Caribbean and Latin America is important for the Bahamas.
A lot of Bahamians doing business in Brazil.
Yes.
Do you have any airlift coming directly from Brazil? Or?
None direct from Brazil.
Are we negotiating?
We are negotiating. And so one of the takeaways from this conference is you are going to see a more connected Caribbean and the Bahamas with Latin America. We have Copa Airlines coming, recording Avianca, recording Sky. We're looking at other major carriers. And
out of this meeting, then we expect to get a lot more airlift.
We expect to get a lot more airlift. We're committed again from tourism also to intensifying our presence in the Latin America region. When you look at the economic value of the Latin America region, they have significant economic value. Their spend is significant. They will stay in destinations longer, and we want to remove the impediments that would prevent them from really having direct flights into Nassau. We're incentivizing direct travel. We're speaking again to the CEO, to network planners, and 2025 is going to be an exciting year, I believe, for the Latin America and the connected Caribbean market for the Bahamas.
So, Dr. Kenneth Romo, Director of Aviation in the Ministry of Tourism and Aviation and Investments, thank you so much for being here, and congratulations on your success. And let's hope that all those flights keep coming in.
They're going to coming in. We're going to put butts in seats, heads in beds, and money into the pockets of local entrepreneurs and stakeholders.
Everybody say amen to that. Well, we thank you all for joining us here on The Rundown. Tomorrow night, we're going to be talking a little bit about the U.S. election and the night after that. So join us, please, on The Rundown. I'm Julian Reed. On behalf of everyone here, good night.
Ready to score big on unbeatable savings? Tune into What's Trending's Deals and Steals with Ace Hardware every Wednesday at 6 p.m. starting in November. Save on items from power tools to paint, lawn care to Christmas decor. They've got the essentials you need to tackle any project at prices that can't be beat. Dive into their special offers up to 50% off select items. Need a new grill for those backyard barbecues? How about a fresh coat of paint to revamp your space? They've got you covered. That's every Wednesday at 6 p.m. starting in November. Don't miss out on Deals and Steals with Ace Hardware.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs.
Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
We seem to remember our athletes when they make us proud at the finish line. Throw a junkanoo parade when they return home, toss them a few dollars, and then forget about them until the next Members of the prestigious Fourth Estate should never sell themselves to any politician. Instead, keep their hands and noses clean in order to publish or broadcast the unadulterated truth. Well, that's how I see it anyway.
Read as I see it, exclusively at ZNSBahamas.com. New articles premiere on Mondays at 9 a.m.
At Centerville, I'm LaDawn Davis. This is ZNS.
Deals Crazy TV is brought to you by We Buy, You Sell. Real estate agent Bobby Clark, Palmdale Furniture. Dolphin Transportation and VIP Services. The Home Gallery. Jesse's Comb Salad.